Going live. You want to say hi? Look at him. Look at me. He's like this.
Hello.
Yes. Hello. He just got home.
I did.
He was gone. Now he's home.
Now I'm back.
Now you're away.
Okay,
All right. Now,
go.
now leave.
Bye. Happy decluttering, everyone.
Yeah. Good to see you, hon. All right. Hey, folks. That was a special guest star. You never know who's going to show up on TikTok Lives with Destination Decluttered. Well, we've got a rock and roller in the house. Yes. Good afternoon, Ocean Anna. Nice to see you. I hope that it is not as icy out. Spreading sunshine. Good afternoon to you as well. Coffee and chaos. Ooh, coffee and chaos. Either or. Good to see folks. Danielle, nice to see you. Tessa and Tracy and Bricken and Stephanie and Laura Gibbon-Bow. And here we are at noon. Tracy and Bricken and Stephanie and Laura Gibbon-Bow. And here we are at noon. I know I was a smidge late, but I was doing some coaching and we were right in that moment and then we had to sign off. But yay. Good to see everybody. Carla Jane. I love it. We're all about making lists here, people. Today is list making central. Just helping a client with that, helping myself with it, getting a dopamine rush with crossing the stuff off of my own list. It feels good to get stuff done. It does. Okay? Hey, people. So, what do we got going here? It's 12 noon Eastern. I say that because I'm in Eastern Pennsylvania. We have about 57 minutes together. Okay? I love it. Judy is working on her lists for the next couple of days. Laura Gibbon-Voorhees is doing surface declutter, is literally on my list for now. Yes, please, 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 as James Brown and I often say, get your thoughts out of your head and down onto paper. Let me repeat that because that's a good one. You will feel better. Let me give you a little bit of what's in it for me. You will feel better physically and mentally and spiritually and emotionally and all the feels. You will feel better when you get your thoughts down out of your head and down onto paper. Notice my strategic use and repetition of the word down. Because any of my people who are feeling overwhelmed, what we do here is we calm that down. We don't even flap. We just, okay? We are calming down, going down. I went from James Brown to Mickey Dolenz doing his James Brown. Going down, slowing down, calming down, quieting down, breathing down, writing down, chunking down, all the downs. That's really so many of the things I share with you here on these TikTok Lives are, if I were to write a book, which I will not, I might. I just was reminded that I have a client who is a wicked awesome author, that she and I might write a book together. I don't know. But in the meantime, do not wait. Write down the stuff that I share with you. Write your own book of decluttering tips. Because everything I say is not going to resonate with everybody. I mean, I get some pearls of wisdom, but sometimes people don't like pearls. They like diamonds or rhinestones or something like that there. Notice the things that I say that resonate with you. Resonate. There's resonance. There's something there that I said that makes you go, yeah, I feel that one. Okay? Whatever I say that helps you, write it down. And even just when you're overwhelmed, because this is where it all starts, overwhelmed, I don't know what to do, I'm so overwhelmed, blah, blah, blah. Shh, quiet down. Quiet down that voice that's saying, that's going, freaking out in the back seat. Little backseat driver. Shh, quiet down. I'm not even overwhelmed, but man, when I play overwhelmed here on TV or TikTok Live, my nervous system gets all activated. But then I remember, there's nothing to be overwhelmed by. If I feel overwhelmed, I just know I got to quiet down, chunk it down, calm it down. I got to think of the word down. Okay? Use that. Okay? User 908, you need to do calming speaking videos. You have such a great calming voice. Yeah, but I also like to joke around too. But notice, I am using a calming voice. What's a calming voice? I am speaking from my chest voice, my chest. I am quieting down. I am slowing down how I speak. You can do that to yourself too. You may notice the opposite, okay? I'm all about opposites. When you are overwhelmed, you are talking in a high voice, it's all kind of a constricted, you're up here, you're all tense, you're saying this and this and this and then another thing, and I gotta do this and I gotta do that, blah, blah, blah. Shh. Put up your little traffic cop hand to yourself in the back seat and quiet down that freaking out little toddler who's in the car seat. Shh, quiet down your nervous system. Slow down, here's another one, slow down your heart rate. Quiet down, slow down, soften your voice, be nice to yourself. This is what you would do if you had a kitty who was all freaked out by something. You know, a little Halloween cat with the hackles. Zing! Shh, nothing to be afraid of. No, that was just the mailman. No. Our dog used to be afraid of when we would roll the trash cans up the driveway. The rumble, that ooh rumble. He's like, ooh, what is that? Fight or flight. There's nothing to be afraid of here. It is just stuff in your house. Now, trust me, I also know that it's more than stuff in your house. It's the stories that are attached to. They are the stories that you have attached to that item. Imagine how you would feel if when you were looking around your house, it was like looking around somebody else's house. You had no stories attached to your items. Notice how it feels when you go into somebody else's house. You're like, I don't know, this is their stuff. I don't know the story behind it. Okay? You have, because this is what we are. We are humans. We create stories to make sense of the world, to create connection, to create meaning. Story does all that. Okay? What stories have you temporarily attached to an item in your home? Practice with one item. You heard me. It was wicked funny the other day on a TikTok Live. I picked up a thing that, that was, what is this thing? What is the story? Do I want it or not? And how you determine that is you listen to the story. And you listen to the story and you say, okay, that's the story behind it, or on top of it, or attached to it. After listening to the story, do I still want to keep that? Is that are you a good witch or a bad witch? Is that a story that makes you feel good? Or is it a story that makes you feel stinking? Okay? So notice these things. You have, all of us have. We do this. We've done it in the past. I feel like we've done it in the past. We are doing it in the future. And we will do it. We're doing it in the present. We've done it in the past. We are doing it today in the present. And we will do it in the future. We will attach stories and meanings to items in our homes. So, knowing that that's something you have done, you are doing, you will do, notice we're time traveling here. Get curious about the items in your home that in the past you attached a story to it. This isn't just a spoon, this has a story. This isn't just a little thing to put on my teacup or use as a hat. This has a story behind it. Now, sometimes stories are chapters long. Other times there's something simple. I bought this at Japan in Epcot to put over my teacup. Notice your stories. You tell me your stories when you put in a comment. For example, Perky Paws 127 says, oh, and if we haven't met before, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. My coaching here on TikTok and YouTube and the internet. Destination Decluttered. Declutter Ed. Decluttered. Past tense. Okay, .com. Perky Paws, my children's playroom is so cluttered. How cluttered is it? They couldn't find their elf on a shelf 3 of the last 5 days. Yeah, notice that. you all, because you all live there, you all have so much stuff in the playroom, cluttered up, that they could not even see the elf on the shelf. So that is a story. Now, stories, if they are done correctly, or just stories, often then make us feel a certain way. I don't know how that makes you feel. Perky Paws, does that make you feel good, bad, indifferent? Notice how your stories make you feel. And then ask yourself, do I want to feel this way? Or, on the other hand, would I rather feel some other way? Okay? Now, one of the ways, notice how I said the calming down, the quieting down, the slowing down. Notice how I am talking in my little meditation voice, right? You know I'm going to burst into song or do a joke. You do not have to worry about it. Butterfly person says, that's exactly what I'm struggling with. Exactly. So many things I can't let go. You know what I see? I see a lot of absolutes in that. There are so many of them, very dramatic. What's the opposite of demure and mindful? Very dramatic, very emotional. Okay? You have things that currently you struggle with letting go of. You can let go of them if you want to. There are some things that you have let go of. But yes, you may have a number of items in your house. A specific number. You won't know what the specific number is, but it is a finite number of items in your home that currently you struggle with letting go of. But notice when you talk to yourself in a very kind of dramatic way, it doesn't help the matter. When you calm that down, when you drain out, when you turn down the volume, when you turn down the saturation on the drama of that, I've got some stuff in my house. Not so many things. I can't let go. I can't let go. Who did that song? Linda Ronstadt, maybe? See, this is why I don't do meditation stuff. But notice, you are telling yourself, I can't let go of so many things. That is a story you're telling yourself. How does that story, butterfly person, make you feel? Does that make you feel good? Awesome. Keep on putting those words in your head. Repeat them over and over again. If that doesn't make you feel good, practice stopping that and telling yourself the opposite story, a different story. Try that on for size, see how that feels. It's going to feel better. Okay? It's going to feel better. This is what we do here. Okay? All right. Okay, so Perky Paws, 127. Oh, it's annoying. Okay, we're back to the elf on the shelf. It's annoying. Notice, you are feeling annoyance. Annoyance? Annoyed? Noise? To do so much work and they can't find it. I did so much work and they can't find it. Why can't they find it? Because the kids have too much stuff. And I don't say that in any judgy way. Look at how much you love your kid. You show it by buying them gifts. But have you trained them, like the little monkeys they are, to put away their toys after they play with them? If you tried to do that, do they even have a place where they belong? You can be mad at the kids for not finding it. You can be mad at anybody. I'm just saying that notice that there's an amount of items in the playroom that are cluttered around the room, therefore making it more difficult. Your kids are overwhelmed. They can't even see the elf on the shelf because they're blinders. And it's funny because I saw Kat Roby. He's got her Beth blinders on. There's so much stuff they can't even see what they have. There's too much. If you had fewer items, they may more easily, the elf on the shelf might be more noticeable. Okay? So notice how the clutter is affecting the enjoyment of the elf on the shelf. It's supposed to be fun, but you're feeling annoyed. And we're blaming the clutter. Okay? So Kat Roby does a wonderful thing. I love this. So she has practiced finding out when I'm doing a TikTok live. showing up when I do it and saying, and this is her phrase, Beth Blinders. She puts on her blinders like those horses and the little, Leroy Neiman, sleigh ride and stuff like that, so they don't get distracted by everything's around. So you just do it. Kat puts on her Beth Blinders. Office gets 47 minutes of attention. Desk, filing cabinet, floor, go. And she goes. And she declutters. And by 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, oh, that feels good. I'm going to stretch some more. By 1 o'clock Eastern time today, her desk is going to look better, her filing cabinet is going to look better, and her floor is going to look better. And not just look better, but she's going to feel better. That's why we do this stuff, okay? Notice, Kat has found something that works for her. She has picked out a certain day of the week and time of day where she sets it aside to do some decluttering, and she shows up and she goes and she makes it different. It just happens to be that she picks the day and time of when I'm doing a TikTok live because I keep her company and I crack some jokes with her. I make it enjoyable when she's decluttering. And I don't just do this for her. I do it for everybody who's on this TikTok live. Next time I do a TikTok live, try it. You may like it. All right? If you don't know when my next TikTok live is, sign up for my mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com. All right, Sway Mommy says, how do I not feel guilty getting rid of stuff my mother-in-law collected and gave me? A couple of things, questions. First of all, just notice right there, you do not want the stuff. Notice you do not want it, but there is a feeling that's causing some push me, pull you, a little bit of should I stay or should I go? Your feeling of guilt is hanging on to stuff. If you didn't have the story or the guilt feeling, guilt feeling, mother-in-law collected it and gave it to me, I don't want it, but I feel guilty not wanting it, you would be easily able to let that stuff go. So let's back it up to the story and feeling guilty. To me, honestly, guilt is such an unproductive. Guilt keeps you stuck. Guilt is a feeling that keeps you stuck. If you want to stay stuck, continue to feel guilty, or you can do something else. So here's what I want to offer, and I am a collector. I enjoyed, and somewhat enjoy, I really used to enjoy the process of collecting, the action of collecting, hunting and finding, and what am I going to find? And oh, I might find a diamond in the rough, and oh, could I find something? I enjoyed that process, and occasionally I would come home with evidence, something that I found and collected. Just because I liked it, though, doesn't mean anybody else has to like what I collected. I enjoyed the process, and that's like the evidence of it. So your mother-in-law enjoyed the process. That doesn't mean you need to keep her evidence of what she enjoyed. Okay? You don't need to. You might feel guilty. What are you afraid is going to happen? Notice behind guilt is fear. Really interesting stuff. What are you afraid is going to happen? The guilt keeps you afraid. Well, if I get rid of her collection, I'm afraid that ... What are you afraid is going to happen? Hey there, LBD. Happy day to you too. Thank you for everybody who's joining me. I love it. All right. I'm just reading a few things here. But notice, what are you afraid of? I will be honest with you. I grew up being afraid of getting yelled at, thinking I was doing something good and I was doing something bad. I was thinking of my stupid kindergarten teacher yelling at me for going down the basement to wipe my hands after finger painting. So I am afraid of doing something wrong and getting in trouble. I'm afraid of getting in trouble. And the funny thing is like when I realize that, who's going to get this? Martha Stewart going to come in my house? No. My grandmother is passed. Notice what you're afraid of and how it keeps you stuck. How can you flip it so you're not stuck anymore? Okay? Kat Roby is getting ready for a big annual cleaning. Laura is, I asked my husband if he wants more ornaments on the tree or not. He says he doesn't care. That's wonderful. He doesn't care, so now you can do whatever you want. There you go. Laura says, luckily that means I can have a minimalist tree and that makes me feel calmer. I love it. That guy you saw at the beginning of this TikTok live, my husband, he just came back from Brooklyn, which is so funny because I have some clients in Brooklyn that I almost was like, oh my God, you might see my husband walking around. He likes to do the tree. I have no interest in the Christmas tree. I'm not a Scrooge, but it bores me. It does not. I'm like, yeah, we gotta put up the Christmas tree. If it were just me, I wouldn't put it up at all. We get the little ceramic one on the kitchen counter. I freaking love that one. But he enjoys it, so he does it. What I love, so when he does the tree, I feel calmer. Okay? All right. Okay. Teresa Kirklandai. My house is explosive. Hubby wants me to declutter too. But I work 65 hours a week plus autistic kiddo. We were just talking about husbands. Now, I love my husband. I truly do. However, what's your husband doing, Teresa, to participate in the decluttering of the house? No, I don't know. I am being judgy, though. I totally admit to my judginess right now because it sounds to me as if he wants you to do it and you're dealing with a lot of other stuff. I call bullshit on that. I call not on my watch. I call enough of that and we're going to start something else. This is how I coach. Because I truly believe that it does not, I dismiss the patriarchy and the hierarchy, all those archies. It's a lot of malarkey, all those archies, okay? None of that top down. Mom has to do it all and everybody else sits in the Barca lounge here eating the Cheetos. Mom cleans up everything and the kids just put their stuff everywhere and mom has to clean it up. Not with me, you don't. And I say this for a loving reason. I say this as love for you, not being burdened with it all. But decluttering is a life skill that every person on the planet should know how to do. Decluttering is deciding. Decluttering is deciding what you want in your life and what you don't want in your life. Decluttering is taking care of what you want and making sure that it lasts for as long as you want it to. Decluttering is putting away stuff you have used and not expecting somebody else to come and clean up your mess. Even if it's happened for millennia, for decades, for however many years you've been alive and been married or whatever. I say no. I say we're stopping that. If you like that type of thing, I hate that phrase. But seriously, if that resonates with you and you want to change that, hang out with me. Hop on the bus. That's where we're going. If you're like, nope, I don't want to do it, I'm fine. That's fine. You do you. Okay? I'm going to back up here. I come back up here. Doodle-doo. Want to make sure I got a lot of stuff here. Just won't want to be. Okay. I love it. Yay. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff, Laura Gibbon Voorhees. I love that you are getting helped by what I'm doing here just on TikTok Live. Yeah. Okay. I love it. Yes. So Sway Mommy, notice. Yeah, she really enjoyed the process. My dad collected, you guys, I come from a family of collectors. My dad collected wooden duck decoys, prints of dead birds, shotguns. Do I want any of that stuff? No. That's not me. That was him. However, there are people out there. There are people out there that want that stuff that your mom collected. So release it. Get it closer to the people who want it. Now, this is really funny because I'm just catching up on some of these comments because this is how it rolls here. Lisa V80 says, I love you, Beth, but honestly, we're all afraid of Martha Stewart. You know what I think would be a kick? Opening up the door and I got Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg coming into my house. I would feel good about my house. I don't care if somebody else judges me because I freaking love my house and it shows and it feels. You can do the same thing. You can own it. You can feel good about the decisions you're making. I don't think Martha would be judgy unless she wanted to get ratings. And then I say, screw you, don't come to my house. You know? All right. There we go. So funny. Teresa had to hop off for a bit. I hope I answered you, and if not, I'll share this with you. All of my TikTok lives are recorded. This is live, but it's going to be Memorex when it gets uploaded to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. This TikTok live will be up there probably before I go to bed tonight. If you want to rewind it, you want to listen to it over and over and over again and just write down all the good stuff and listen to my answer to you, make sure you're on my email mailing list, okay? I say that because the December TikTok live recordings are only available to the people on my mailing list. Now, the cool thing is my mailing list is free, so hop on it, destinationdecluttered.com. Get that, and then you get a link to watch those videos, okay? So, I also say that too because we're doing a couple of parties this weekend too. People on the mailing list people. I'm going to send out an email today reminding you of the party, but people on the mailing list right now, don't forget, we have 2 holiday parties this week, 2 decluttering parties. Noontime on Saturday, noontime on Sunday. Both of those noons are Eastern. Goes for an hour and a half. We hang out together. We are going to have some fun and get some decluttering done. Okay? Yeah. Alrighty. So, Teresa, my sister gets mad. He blames me, but I blame him too. Blame. Playing the blame game, are you? I grew up like that. Yeah, it's not my fault. It's somebody else's. Pointing fingers. Point the finger at yourself. If you're both procrastinators, stop your own procrastinating and you'll have, Christine, nice to see you. Stop your own procrastinating. And I say that very high level, but you can work on where you procrastinate. That's what coaching helps you with. Notice where you procrastinate. Then you go, hey, well, you know what? You and I have something in common besides Lake and Soup. That you procrastinate and so do I. But you know what I discovered about how I procrastinate? I drag my feet on something when ... You know? So notice these things that you do. And don't judge yourself. Martha Stewart's not judging yourself. Do not judge yourself either. Get curious. Instead, judgment is a shitty feeling. You want to get curious and understand where you came from and stuff like that there. Now, Laura Gibbon Voorhees says Mom and Dad collected fine art decoys of all kinds of songbirds. When Dad passed, we got to choose the birdies we liked and the rest got donated to our Home Sound Nature Center and on a display for all. I love that. My dad collected the duck decoys, and we sold a bunch of them to people who want to collect duck decoys or go duck hunting. Okay? There we go. So, I'm backing up here, making sure I got the things. Okay, Anna Christie Advocacy. Procrastination is sadly my best skill. Okay, you know what you got to do? If you want. I say you got to because that's when I get impassioned and you could practice another skill. You could stop being so good at procrastinating. What's the opposite? How do you break the habit of procrastination? You get shit done. And tiny little things and big little things. You practice not procrastinating until suddenly you're not good at procrastinating. You enjoy the feeling of getting stuff done. Man, I got a lot of good stuff done yesterday, and I'm talking like calling the health insurance people and calling the dentist and then getting in touch with the other health insurance person and then the accountant person. It wasn't really fun stuff, but man, I love having that stuff in the rearview mirror. Okay? Now notice you have, I'm so good at procrastinating. What would you rather get good at? You can do it. Love it. I love the Carol Wolfgang, as obvious. Watched a couple of my videos and loved my advice. Here I am. Check me out. What is that? Check me out. I'm delicious. Follow me. I'm delicious. That's the guy. All right. Weed War what? Finding it impossible to throw out clothing because of memories. You're making it impossible. Now I'm being a little bit because it can feel like it's impossible because notice if we could rewind the tape here to earlier in this TikTok live because we're about halfway through. In case we haven't met before, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. Destination Decluttered, all one word. Follow me here on TikTok. Sign up for my mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com. We do a lot of cool stuff. We got 2 decluttering parties going on it's going to help a local women's shelter, and we get stuff done. But I want to get back to this. So that's who I am half an hour ago. I find it, Weed War What says, I find it feels impossible to throw out clothing because of memories. Notice the very general terms. Clothing, memories. Okay, let's get specific. Notice this process. One item of clothing has a memory attached to it. Is it a good memory or a bad memory? What is the story you have temporarily attached to that pair of pants? Listen to your stories, people. Your stories either encourage you to live the life you want or discourage you from starting that. Okay? So notice that. What are the stories? All right, J. Teresa Fickle says, I stalled. Help. Okay. How can I help you get going? Where are you stuck? Where are you stalled? Tell me where on the road and I'll come and we'll put some gas in your tank. Okay? But where are you stuck? I don't know how to get there until you tell me where. Are you on 128? Are you on the blue route? Are you on the 10? Yeah. What else do we got here? People? Maybe shift to clutter work, washing dishes. Yes, so I love this. Laura Gaiman Voorhees and I, we've never met, but she shows up when I do my TikTok lives. And she is learning and she is decluttering kind of along with me. It's kind of like, sing along with Mitch, declutter along with Beth. And when I talk about clutter, I like to share with you there are three levels, three layers of clutter. Surface clutter, stored clutter, sentimental clutter. If you are ever stuck with any decluttering, always go back up to the shallow end of the pool. The easy stuff, the stuff you know what to do with and it's just not put away yet. Start with your surface clutter. The interesting thing though is when you do your surface clutter, what you may find is the reason it's on a surface could be two things. You either haven't created a home for it, so you don't know where to put it away. So you're kind of like driving around without a point A to point B. Or you have made a home for it, but that home, there's no room at the inn. It's almost Christmas. There's no room at the inn. You open up your cupboard and all of the coffee mugs are there and you can't put one more coffee mug in there. That's when you start to then listen to the stories of why do I have so many? And again, not judgy. We do not judge here. You get curious. Why do I have so many coffee mugs? Could be judgy. Why do I have so many coffee mugs? Let me take a look at the mugs I do have. Do I use them all? Do I like them all? Do I like where I'm storing them? Are there's some that I used to like that I don't like anymore? Did I get ones that I like better? Did I not even realize I had this many? Okay. Get curious. Pay attention to yourself. Yourself. Yourself is telling stories to you to try to help you. If you don't listen to those stories, you will not get the help that comes from inside. The call is coming from inside the house. Listen to your stories. And don't be like, I don't have time. I have to keep on going. Well, you can keep on driving, but you're probably driving in circles and you're probably not making any distance towards where you want to go. Okay? Now, I love this. Speaking of people who use this time to their benefit, please, you guys, I will tell you, I'm going to be here for another 25 minutes. You do not need to pay attention to me and just goop here at the screen. Bring me along with you and start doing some surface decluttering. Remind yourself of what you can do, okay? And it's going to make you feel better having gotten it done. Therapy Gal Sue says, got the laundry folded and put away this half hour. Yay! She's feeling good about it. She's feeling good about it. So I offer to you. Robin, nice to see you. What can you do in the next, 24 minutes? Yeah, the next 24 minutes to get yourself done. Okay, problem is, see, Sarah, we're getting specific here. Problem is, I have no place to put it. Okay, yeah. Notice where you want to put it. What's there instead? What's squatting in that room? Okay, yeah, user 62427, I need more storage, especially in my kitchen. I don't know, you might live in a 50 square foot Brooklyn walk-up kitchen with only, one burner and a little box fridge. However, and I think this is really important to people to hear, storage can make your clutter worse. What I offer to you is to think about this. You may not need as much storage that you think you do if you go through your stuff first and decide what you want. After you have made a decision that you feel good about the quality and quantity of the items you are saving, then and only then is when storage and containers come into the game. Okay? Hey, Lori Hannah. I like it. Lori Hannah made my bed 3 days in a row. Really makes my room look better, and it only takes a few minutes. Yes, when I hear people say, I don't have time, I try to not get judgy. I try to get curious. But what I often find is you do have some time, and you're choosing to use it doing something else. Now, again, I say that without judgment. Just notice. You have time. You have a few minutes. You can walk away from your bed and leave it crumply, or you can use a few minutes and invest that time, and then every time you walk by your bed, you think, I love how that looks. I did that this morning. Usually I don't have to make the bed because I get up early and my husband's sleeping in it, so it'd be kind of weird to make the bed while he's still sleeping in it, but he was gone the last couple of days. So when I got up, I tidied up the bed too, and then every time I walked past the bedroom, instead of saying, ugh, I gotta make the bed, I said, oh, that looks good. Oh, that feels good. I love it. Yeah, Silver Fox 143, my husband was a teacher. We have so many coffee mugs. Yeah, I feel bad for you. You don't need to keep them all. You don't need to keep them all. Okay, Sarah Larkin, I have a brain injury and editing is hard. Okay, get somebody to help you with it then. The other thing too, and you're probably knowing this, Sarah, if you have a brain injury, repetition and practice. Practice the things you want to get better at. Yeah, you can create some new grooves in your head. You can create some new neural pathways and doing it in a way that serves you. Okay? So, just notice that. You can do something different. Oh, I love it. I just saw Kat Roby, file cabinet, check. I'm all about a checklist. Do you see that? There's my checklist and crossing things off, and then I wrote these things down in my good book. Look at me, look at me, look at all the good stuff I did yesterday. Makes me feel good to realize I got good stuff done. Sweets from the Heart says, I have so much Christmas stuff, enough for 7 houses. Now I'm keeping only the ones I love and donating the rest. Just think about that. You are going to help 6 other households with the stuff you're donating. Sorry, I was looking up, the lights were flickering. Yes, I am going to be going through our Christmas stuff. I said yesterday on my TikTok live that I was going to be going through some of our Christmas stuff because it's still in totes in the kitchen. I didn't do it yesterday because, frankly, I wanted my husband to be home. I wanted to do it kind of together as he's doing the thing. I am a different person than I was when I put my Christmas stuff away last year. So are you. I am going to look at my Christmas stuff with fresh eyes and fresh heart and just ask, do I still really want some of this stuff? Any of it? All of it? Some of it? And I'm going to decide if I no longer want some of it, or it seems like, honestly, the quantity that I'm decorating with, too much, but I still want it, I'm gonna lop that in half. I'm going to say, this year I'm only putting out half of what I have after I've decided it's stuff I want. And then next year, the stuff I don't put away this year, I'm going to label that box to say, use this Christmas stuff in 2025. And then the neat thing is when I put away the stuff from 2024, and then I will put a label on that box that says, open me in 2026. Notice, I'm decreasing the amount of items because I don't want to get overwhelmed with so much Christmas stuff. Yeah, okay. So I love this because this will relate. Kara, I've been seeing your videos, and Kara is helping her dad declutter his life, declutter his stuff. And Carla, I don't know if you're still on here, but it's a similar thing. Kara says, helping my dad. Yesterday I hit a wall. I was sad and I needed to rest and do a few me things. Yes. Notice your tank was empty. Now, I always talk about things in like that car reference, but notice, doing that will drain you. It will. Because you are dealing, Kara, with some really deep stuff. You are dealing with Dad's getting older. Dad's saying goodbye to a chapter in their life. You realizing he's older. The overwhelm of all this stuff. It can be a lot. But notice where my hand is going when I'm talking to Kara. It's going right here in my heart because this is sentimental stuff. This will drain you. But it's not draining permanently. It's draining temporarily. So notice it just like you would in your car. Notice your gas tank gauge. Anything, I don't want you driving forward on anything less than a quarter tank. When you feel like you're at a quarter tank, I want you to stop. And you may stop already. As Kara said, I kind of hit a wall. I needed to rest and do a few me things. And look what she wrote. And today, because I stopped, rested, did a few me things, today I feel much better. Yes. Decluttering will take energy. It will take physical energy. It will take emotional energy. But the investment of that energy is worth it. It's like driving on a road trip. It's going to cost you gas money. It's going to cost you hotel money. It's going to cost you time in your day. That's why we make sure that you're driving towards someplace you want to get to. Okay? That is your destination decluttered. Right? So make sure. Oh, hey, Kat Roby. Thank you for reminding me. She says, ooh, Nelson bubble time. You got it. Let me just zoom back a little here. Kat was reminding me of a thing that I wanted to do. So yes, let me see if I can do this. You're going to see the behind the scenes. Okay? You will notice that I am not a minimalist, and you will notice that I have things hanging around my house. They are intentional. I like them. Here, let me see if I can do this. Okay? All right, see that? See that right above me? Right there? Ooh, there we go. That, my dear. And look, trust yourself. I write that note to myself and I remember it all the time. That, right there, that is a Nelson bubble lamp. I rewarded myself by buying a lamp that was stupidly expensive for the function it has, but every time I see it, it brings me joy. And it reminds me that I deserve nice things on occasion. Not all the time. I mean, I do. But sometimes I spend the money on stuff. So that is what a Nelson bubble lamp looks like. It delights me every time I see it. It was a good investment of my money because it brings me joy for the rest of my life. Okay? Alrighty. What else do we have here? One lucky lady get rid of the Christmas stuff. I bought new stuff after last year and my washing machine broke. It molded all the stuff in the basement and I had to toss. Yeah, sometimes we hang on to stuff and it falls apart. Okay? Linda is not putting up a big tree, going a major purge, so it's easy next year. Yeah, Teresa, notice, we sorted Christmas, still need to downsize again. Notice that you're just not at your feels right set. That's okay. You did some. You may need to go back again and kind of pull another layer off. You know? Ha 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 ha. Leslie B., I love it. Your pup burrowing into the bed. I would join that pup. I would. Yeah, Christine, dogs love to tear up all the work. Yes, buy the bubble. You do deserve it. Yes. And notice, I've got a bunch of stuff hanging around here, but I also have big open spaces. That's how I roll. Yes, I will tell you. It was a big deal for me to do that because one of my stories is from my life that I have cheaped out on myself. That's my own phrase that I use. Don't cheap out on yourself. I have cheaped out on myself in the past, and sometimes I don't mind it. Sometimes I'm thrifty and I feel good, but other times I really feel like I want something, but I'm afraid to spend the money. Notice, I'm stopping being afraid to spend the money. I'm working on my own stuff too, as you guys are. Okay? So, show the bubble lamp again. Okay, wicked quick. There it is. Right there. Okay? Now, I'm also a private person. I am, so you typically see what I want you to see. You typically don't see what I have surrounding me. That's not because I am hiding it and I'm really a hoarder. No, but it's just, this is my old New England coming up. It's none of your goddamn business. So these are the things that are meant to be seen only by my eyes. There are other things in my home that are meant to be seen by the public's eyes, by what's behind me when I do a TikTok, or the things you can see when you open up the door to my room. I used to be in visual merchandising, so I am all about what is meant to be seen by other people and what's just for me. So Rochelle says, I spent money matting and framing some of my kids' artwork from childhood out of my basement clutter. That's cool. That's cool. I hope you're enjoying it, but I will share this with you because I am actively working with clients who are struggling with framed family photos. I used to work in a frame store. I have framed things. I will probably frame things, but I am being so mindful about the artwork that I collect and the things that I frame because I know at a certain point, maybe it's because I'm closer to death than I am than ever before, that I know at some point somebody's going to have to make a decision about this. And decisions about artwork and pictures are made more difficult when they have been framed. So just notice that you are putting a couple of other layers of resistance to things that have been framed. Okay? Now, if you're getting joy of it now, I love it. Go for it. I'm not trying to slow your roll, but just notice that, you know, you have a thing, you have a picture. Okay, perfect example. Kara is helping her dad. And I got to say, your dad's pictures look pretty awesome. There was one of like a glass pitcher, and I know my aunt had that picture. So it was kind of like this cool kind of New England connection. A picture, an 8x10 black and white in a box from Ilford paper is different to deal with than if every single one of those was framed and matted and wired to be hung. Notice when you make it more difficult for you to let go of things. Letting go of things is a process you're going to be doing all your life. And if you don't do it, other people are going to have to do it to yourself. Okay? Yeah. And Kara, notice I'm the same way with spending money, working on that too. Yeah. Yeah, it's a really interesting place to be at. It is. And you know where that is? It's in my head and in my heart. And seeing how what's in my head and in my heart is revealed in my home. And I love a head and a heart and hand and a home. Notice that. What is in your head and in your heart is revealed in your home. That might be a TikTok video. All right, Anna Christia Advocacy. I love it. Thank you. I've been following you for about a year. Oh, thank you. I didn't even realize you were back there behind me. You helped me throughout my move. I love it. I love it. Very good. Okay, Rochelle is saying, yes, I was very selective and I got rid of most of it. Yes, be mindful of what you frame and feel good about what you're framing. Okay? Leslie B., we only got 11 minutes. Yeah. Okay, family photos. Both of the personal ones versus the professional ones. You know, what happens with that? Yeah, he's publishing books. Okay. So, we live in a time more than ever where the quantity of evidence of people's existence is off the charts. It's off the charts. I know from my family, I have maybe one picture of my grandmother and my great aunts when they were children. And it's not even a good picture. They literally look like the witches of Eastwick. It's very unfortunate. However, nowadays that is spiked. You could probably make a flip book for all the photos and watch how kids are aging. This is when you get your ancestry hat on. And you say to yourself, this is what I say, if I were 100 years in the future, if somebody 100 years in the future looks back at my family and me, what do I want to be left as a legacy, a memory? Do they need to see my 90 million photos? No. I will probably pick out some favorites. Favorites where I look good. Not going to lie. Favorites of me with my husband. Favorites with me, I don't know, maybe the picture of me and Paul McCartney. Notice there's a quantity, but pulling out the category of the ones that you would want your family historian in 2125 to look back and know where you fell on the context of your family tree. You will temporarily be overwhelmed with the quantity you have, but if you have a goal of I want to save a few photos to share with somebody 100 years from today, then you're going to pull out the good ones. You are going to take a pencil. Oh, my pencil's in the other room. You're going to write it down on the back, what year that was taken and who's in the photo. I have two big photos right behind that little framey thing right there. Two big photo albums from the 1800s. I think I'm related to some of the people in there, but a whole bunch of the people are like mystery people because nobody wrote it down. Okay? Yeah, nobody wrote it down. So, yeah, ones I'd want at my funeral. Seriously, you guys, not to be morbid, but I'm Irish and I'm getting older. So start to collect a box of pictures I want to be put on the poster board or slideshow at my own funeral. Start to collect those up. Okay? Making decisions. It's making decisions. It is. And when you decide, you are going to say yes to some things, which means you're saying no to others. Get more comfortable with that. You say yes to marry that person, you're saying no to marrying anybody else for the time being. If you choose not to decide, as Geddy Lee would say, you still have made a choice. You know? Yeah. Yeah, our lives have been documented in hand-printed black and white. And notice the difference, Kara. Hand-printed black and white art photographs feel more difficult to get rid of than deleting a digital image. But it's the same concept. But man, does it feel different. Okay? Damn it, Donna says, if your people give you a funeral, traditions are going by the wayside. To some people they are, to some people they're not. Some people do it. What do you want? Damn it. Damn it, Donna. Do you want a funeral? If you want one, ask for it. You ask for it, you got it, a funeral. If you want a funeral, ask for a funeral. I don't want a funeral. I don't. I want a celebration of life. And so, yeah, I don't want to be buried. I want to be cremated. Start to have those conversations with yourself. Now, in the more shallow end of the pool, because we got about 7 minutes here, Terry is saying, I have 4 big boxes of craft things from my grandkids. What do I do? Here's what I would do if I were you. If they are, and let's see actually what somebody else would have. Doop-a-doop-boo, backing up. Got it. I love it. Kara's dad, do this. Everybody, you can do what Kara says. Send prints to people. Then they can do whatever they want with them. I've gone through, and I'm pointing at this closet right here because all of my photos are in that closet, and I was a photo major in college, so I have more photos than I need to do with. I'm also the family archivist, so I have family photos. I have a wicked lot of photos. And what I realized at a certain point when I was going through some of my own personal photos is I had a bunch of pictures of friends that, like, I know who they are, but you know what would be really fun was to share them with their families. So I would send them back and be like, here, share these with your kids. This is what you looked like when you had a mohawk, right? One lucky lady takes a picture. So Terry, somebody says, I take pictures and print them. I will just offer, then you have a print, you know? Yes, thank you, Leslie. You got free will. You picked up what I was putting down there. Yes. What I would love to do, what I think would be fun, is if I had an accumulation of things that had been crafted for me and given to me as from my grandkids or my nieces and nephews, is when they got to be a certain age, I don't know, maybe late 20s, when they've settled down a little bit and they're starting to feel a little bit aged, I would love to sit down with them and say, hey, sit down with me. Sit next to me and let's walk down memory lane. I saved all these things that you made me. Let's go through this. I remember when you gave me this, and then they could add their story. It's like when you decorate the Christmas tree. Okay? Yeah, that's what I would do. You save things because they tell you stories. Relive the stories with the people who are directly related to the thing. Okay? That's what I would do, and I look forward to it. I look forward to sharing the evidence of my good life with my nieces and nephews. I have boxes filled with papers that are evidence of it, but I hope that honestly, if they ever check on what Auntie Beth is doing, they know she's doing something kick-ass. That I am living an example of a life well lived, that they don't need to see any of the papers I save. I save them for myself. And I save them to share them with others. You know? Let me back up here. We get about 4 minutes. What do we got here? Yeah, there you go. Damn it, Donna wants to be cremated and spreaded ashes in the Gulf. Yeah, Gina says, I just laid to rest my mom, and it can be, pardon me, TikTok is asking me to do something here. Yeah, just got burial in an hour with us family, $14K. Decide how you want to spend your money. You can do something different, you know? So you can send duplicates to others and scan the rest. Yeah, there's many things you can do. Cat Roby, if anybody's keeping progress. Second half of L Desk, check. All right? Damadonna says memory lane is good for the soul and the heart and soul. Do 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 heart and soul. I fell in love with you years ago. All right, user 8274 says, would you offer the creations back to the young adults or just hang on to them? I would do the both. I would hang on to them and then get them involved in the process. Remember about an hour ago I was saying something about getting kiddos involved with decluttering? Sit down with them and be like, hey, I want to schedule a time that you come over and let's go through this stuff that I saved for you. However, I would offer it back to them if they want it, but I would be cool if they said no. I also then would not hang on to them if I really didn't want the stuff. Get people involved with decluttering. You know? Realtor for Life says, I'm going to leave my ashes to my daughter to make a diamond with. There's a thing. You know? Yeah, Cheriello is saying Archive will make up a book of children's art. It takes up way less space and can be a keepsake for the desk. Yeah, Descendants, sure. But boy, I will say this. Our generations are going to be like everybody was a pharaoh in a temple because we are going to have so much evidence of our life. Just be mindful of how you may be overwhelming future generations with your stuff. That's why we're doing this now, to not overwhelm ourselves and to not overwhelm future generations. And the future generations already exist. They're behind you. We know this because look at Kara. She's dealing with her dad's stuff. It's coming to her. I'm dealing with my mom's stuff. It's coming to me. Carla's dealing with her mom's stuff. She's dealing with it. Let's break that chain and not weigh down the responsibility of stuff to the youngsters, okay? All right. There we go. Leave money to make the diamond. Yeah, even if you want a diamond, you know. I'll be honest with you. Diamonds to me, diamonds, rhinestones, they look the same to me. I don't care, but that's just me. All right, you guys, we got a minute. So in this minute, before I hop onto coaching, which I love to do, I'm wicked excited, yay. Destination Decluttered here on TikTok. If you like what you heard and you want to hear more, first of all, follow me here on TikTok. Then you'll be notified when I'm live. Better yet, instead of getting it kind of off the cuff, destinationdecluttered.com is my website. Sign up for the mailing list. It is free. You get the schedule of my TikTok lives for free. You get access to watching these TikTok live recordings before anybody else. And you get invited to the decluttering parties that we're having this weekend, that we all get on Zoom and we declutter together. It is so much fun. I also do one-on-one coaching, which I'm about to do. You can also find out about that on my website, destinationdecluttered.com/join. All right? I will see you the next time. And yay, I'm a body double, people. I'm a body double. Laura Gibbons Voorhees and Kat Roby got good stuff done. You will too. Let's hang out again sometime, okay? Bye-bye.